special edition podcast, Cole Susak.
Yes.
You are the main correspondent that we have here that has WWE, gangsterness, has been around for a long time. Can you believe the interview we're about to do right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say the guest. I'll let you say the guest. But as a childhood fan growing up and watching WWE and wrestling, to be here with two amazing, great legends in my eyes, it's quite an honor.
I mean, if you have figurines of yourself, that right there, Clyde. I don't have a figurine of myself.
I grew up envisioning myself. I have my own wrestling figure, and these guys actually have them right here sitting on the table.
So it's amazing to have our business partners and homies in person today at the Max Effort HQ. We got Machine Gunna. We got Big LG. Ooh. We got Chad. We got Luke. They got many names, but you guys know them as the WWE superstars. The Good Brothers!
I will listen to that intro all day long. Beautifully done. If you want to extend it, that's fine. But I got to say, it is more than our honor because we have never set foot in Max Effort headquarters before. And to say we're pretty blown away is an absolute understatement. We were just talking about it off air. But when you roll up to this place and you see a big, cool-looking, old-school gym, and you walk in and you see people grinding and you're explaining the history, and I was like, cool, they got a nice gym. Awesome. And then the doors open, and there's a podcasting studio, another one being built. There's merchandise everywhere. There's protein powder everywhere. There's everything that a fitness kid growing up could want everywhere. This is an adult playland. So I don't know if you're allowed to even come to this place, but if you are, you should come check it out.
Well, there's tons of people out there working out. There's kids out there playing football. I like how
That's a cool vibe, man.
It's cool. Awesome. I like how Cole said when he was a kid, is he not still a kid?
Yeah, yeah, always. Right? Yeah, 25.
I'm maturing slowly.
He's got a good beard on him.
Yeah. Hey, it's great to be here. This is we've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We hooked up with you guys. I've been following you since probably 2012 or so, 2013.
That's
I've
crazy.
been going back and forth to Japan, telling those boys about the workouts you were putting out.
For you were doing the old MP workouts back in the day, right?
That's how I saw it. I was like, this guy's insane.
Yeah, facts.
Which we love.
But yeah.
I remember one specific workout, the back workout. It was where you camp out.
Oh, the pulled out camp out workout.
Yeah. Okay, so I did that with a friend of mine in the New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo in Tokyo, Japan, with a guy named Tama Tonga. He's a famous New Japan wrestler.
Got a great back too,
right? He goes, "Yo, dog, how many more fucking sets we gonna do with it?"
Yeah, because it's like 10 exercises.
He goes, "Man, I don't know, man. This shit sucks, man."
Just keep changing the bar. That's hilarious. That
was probably 2012.
Yeah,
2013.
It's so wild is that, maybe not LG because we hadn't talked about this, but these other guys, everyone is in this room because of the free workouts.
Yeah,
literally,
legit, man.
That is unbelievable. I've met every one of these guys that are here working with us at Max from that, and obviously met LG through you, which is still linked to the free workouts.
Right, he told me about it in 2013 in Japan when I first got there. So I would have never,
so wild.
I would have discovered it eventually, but not really as early as we did, for sure.
But it's so wild that right there, that me understanding that was what was necessary for the marketplace. Cole was literally in high school doing the workouts in football. You know what I mean? Danny was same thing, playing college baseball, doing the workouts. And it's one of those things where you don't even think. I literally just had a box of workouts, and I was like, well, I should just start putting these on Facebook.
For sure.
Yeah.
Literally, that's how it started. So funny.
And look at the team that you built off of doing that.
Yeah.
Just snowballed. Everyone wants something to do with fitness, right? You're always trying to figure out what's not. I'm in a constant battle daily on how to get.
You already asked me if I wanted to drink today.
I know today's not a drinking day for him. So I'm the kind of guy that's been down the road where sometimes we go a little too hard in the paint, right?
Yeah.
So I understand. Hey, when someone says they're not drinking that night, I'm the last person.
Yeah, we're very respectful of that.
Hey, you drinking tonight? No problem. We'll handle it.
Are you going to drink?
Well, I told him I would make an exception.
If that's great, but we don't want to detriment anyone.
You guys drink
no,
bourbon?
we don't. But a lot of times, on a Friday after SmackDown, we go on a date together.
Sadly, we
have a nice.
He asked if we drink. We got bourbon here. We drink.
Yeah, we got bourbon. No.
Crack it open.
We do. Yes.
Let's wait a second.
There's somebody out there still selling bourbon with our likeness on it. We should probably check into the royalty.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you guys did have that for a little while. Huh?
We did. We almost. When we left WWE in 2020, when we got released from WWE, we started delving into so many things. We almost delved into too much.
Yeah, we spread our wings a little bit.
Because we wanted to go hard into everything, but we almost went. We spread our wings. Am I using the right common words or phrases? We spread ourselves so it was like fuck. We don't know where to go. Here.
Yeah,
we
kind
spread
of
like
the wings of an eagle, baby. There you go.
we almost did too much.
I have a question about that COVID time. Did you guys put on your own pay-per-views, right?
Yes.
We did, yeah.
We missed. We should have made one of those.
Well, we booked you.
Yeah, you did. I was going to lunge through it, and it didn't work out.
Someday when there's another Talking Shop Mania, please.
Yes.
Yes. Because we were coming up with ideas of how if we went there, what would we do?
It would have been
the most
amazing.
fun we had of the whole thing after it was written was coming up with cameo appearances for wrestling and non-wrestling characters that were related to.
Was that fun though?
The brand. Oh, it was a blast.
It was fun.
Unbelievable.
It was a lot of fun. And we got a lot more buys than we thought we would.
We did.
Yeah.
We
got a lot of buys.
It's so good, dude. That's so good.
I mean, what you guys were doing was so different.
Like Talking Shop made it. We still have a bank account with a lot of money in there that we don't know what to do with.
Such a great.
I mean, it's not $1 million.
You know what's so
or anything,
good though
Yeah.
is like to have the dream to be professional wrestlers. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of people that, and that's how I feel blessed. Like when it comes to what we get to do too, it's like talk about when that was like when you really thought like this could actually be my life.
Man, it was all. So we kind of have similar stories.
Very
'cause
similar
he played D2 football. I played D2 baseball. We both quit after our second year because we couldn't take it. We had to have this. We had to
wrestle.
Yeah.
And people were looking at he's at least 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". But people looked at me and was like,
Dude, you look like me, bro. So I'm like, there's hope for me.
I wish I looked like you. I'm your height, just a little softer in the brother spot.
A little too much bourbon.
Yeah, but like people look at me like you're gonna go be a wrestler. Oh, that's great, and shake my hand and kind of laugh at me.
Yeah.
This was 2000 when The Rock and Triple H were, these guys were 6'4", 6'5", and jacked. And I'm quitting college, and I'm a soft looking, kind of charismatic, not the greatest shape, and I'm going to quit college and go to be a wrestler. I mean, I think it sounds asinine.
Wasn't looking real promising, huh?
It wasn't looking promising, but once I started doing it, I had so much confidence in myself because I'm a pretty confident guy.
It's the same thing we were talking about on the drive over here. It's just like building this max effort empire. It's not taking no for an answer. I remember when I quit my college scholarship, my dad literally goes, "How much fucking money have you had in the wrestling match you got paid the most for so far?" And I go, $20. And he was like, "You idiot!" But then he saw that I was committed and supported it and shit like that. But I think it's like that with anything you want to do in your life. We saw when we were kids, we were obsessed and wanted to do it, and you don't waver from that.
So good.
If you see it in your head, you can achieve it.
But he fortunately got signed pretty quick, right?
I did, yeah. I got signed when I was the first WWE deal when I was 21. So.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So then you're like, yo, this is real.
See, he knew it was real right away.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Your path was a little different.
Mine was different. Yeah, it was the independence of $20, $25.
Yeah.
For about 4 years of $20, and then I hit a couple $200 spots every now and then.
All right, big money.
To still keep believing at that level is impressive.
Then I'm sure if I look back, this is a true story here, so I can remember this clearly. My birthday of 2008, I just turned 28. Like, that's not old, but it's not young.
Yeah.
I was broke bad. And I ran out of gas on the LA freeway. And I got back.
Terrible place to run out of gas.
Terribly. I got back to the house I was staying at, which was a friend of mine. And I'm taking a shower, and I started crying. And I go, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like sitting in the fucking bath, and I was like, "You're a fucking loser. You're the biggest loser ever." Then I stood up. I turned the water cold, and I was like, "Kick out, quit being stop, relax, breathe." Kicked out, looked in the mirror, and I was like, "No, dude, you're gonna be good." And I had nothing lined up. 2 months later, I signed a contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they sent me my flights, and I had a contract. Why? I don't know. How does that shit happen? So I went from crying 2 months earlier, like a bitch.
I think you just decided because the action was already there.
It's the way, and I didn't, I don't know how it all just started to turn right there.
It's funny though because you never forget that shit. We'll be on the Jersey Turnpike sometimes, and I'm like, I remember do I stop and get a chicken sandwich and run the toll, or stay hungry after my match? Because I only got money for one or the other.
Yeah. Hey. Makes you appreciate it though.
So you were probably like what, 21 whenever you decided to quit school, and
20.
you went. So you were 20, and then you waited 8 years to basically get to New Japan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's 8 years of basically you just trying to get something going where, like, we talk all the time, like, there is no timeline. Like, everyone wants something to happen with, like, 2 years or 3 years. We got that. So, how long was it until, I guess, you, like, made your crack? Like, you made your mark, you solidify, like, I can do this, like, once you got to New Japan?
No, yeah, it was once I got to New Japan. That's it. Like,
once
I got to New Japan, yes, they gave me a 3-month contract, that was the dream come true. I can still remember myself flying on Korean Air, and I was like looking in the mirror, flying to Japan, thinking, "Is this real?" Like in the bathroom, like pinching myself, like, "Am I really going here?"
So cool.
Once I got there, I had it, and I knew I was good. I knew I could handle in-ring stuff. I knew I could. I had my first match, and they offered me a year contract, like right away. And I was like, I'm getting chills now thinking about it. Just because
awesome.
I just remember the way it was. I was broke. Like, I probably had. I want to be realistic. I probably had $150 in my account flying
when you flew to
Japan. Right?
That ain't even enough to get there.
No. And it was a $1,500 a month contract, and they handed me $500 as a draw when I first landed there.
Hell yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
$500 cash, and I'm going to the dojo with $500. I kept counting it, just
good,
feeling it, and just going with it. And did I know that I would make it, or that I would go to the WWE or go to Impact or TNA or AEW? It didn't even exist at that time. I didn't know, and I didn't care because I didn't have a wife. I didn't have kids either then. All I cared about was I just got this year contract. This is amazing. I made it.
It's working. I think that's the thing is like the entry point. I always talk about this, like you were grinding and doing all this time. And I don't even use that word very often, but 8 years at 20 and 50 and $100 and still believing in what there's such a small percentage. And then to get that, like you just outlasted it because you didn't quit, bro.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I think that we talk about all the time, like not doing anything that extra special, but just because you just can't, you wouldn't take no for the answer. But then somebody said, "Hey, this is real," and then it's like you're already a confident guy, you already believe in yourself. Then it's like, here we go. It's a wrap now.
Yeah,
that's so cool, man.
Yeah. I guess, and I am a confident guy, and I was, but I guess I wasn't when I was. I didn't expect to get that contract, right? Yeah. It's like my friend. His name's Finn Balor now in WWE, right? So he was over in New Japan, and he was calling me, and I saw him calling me. I looked down, and I was like, what's he calling me for? And I answered, and he goes, "Hey, get ready to do some squats because you're about to get a contract." And I was like, huh? What?
So cool.
Just like that, out of nowhere, dude. My life went from like thinking, what's going to happen, to like, here we go. And then it's been just insane, straightforward.
I would argue it's not out of nowhere, right? It feels that way, but it wasn't because it was intentional. So it's funny, as I got older, it's like you're working without an expectation of a timeline, but then my expectation for it to work is there. So when it does work, I'm not that surprised. But I will always wish it was faster. But the reality is, and then if it doesn't work, I'm actually not that surprised because that's really the chance that we're just giving ourselves a chance at it.
Yeah.
And if I can just get a chance at trying to be great, then that's all I can really ask for, because most people don't even have the foresight or the work ethic or the belief to even give themselves a fucking chance, bro.
Yeah. Isn't that what motivation is, though?
It's
derived from drive. And if you fail, then, if you're a motivated motherfucker and you have a goal, whether it be fitness, pro wrestling, collegiate baseball, like the kid we're talking to outside, you'll pivot and go a different way and figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah, but giving yourself a chance at it, man.
That story reminded me of, this is just a funny story, but when we started, there was no NXT or anything like that. So I left college at 18 or whatever. So when I was 22, I was working out in a gym that was nowhere near as nice as this, but it was under a WWE contract or whatever, but we didn't have the big facility or whatever. They gave you a stipend and it was enough to like live on. So then they called me one day and they were like, "Hey, Kane's got a movie coming out. So we need like an old school Kane. You're going to play him. You're going to wrestle Kane on pay-per-view." And I was like a kid in wrestling school in their little developmental league who just come from these little shitty indie shows. I'm like, whoa, I can't do that. Yes, you can. But I remember to fly from Atlanta to Tacoma, Washington. I'd overdrawn my bank account that week. So I was like, shit, I can't eat anything until I get the catering the next day. But I was hungry as shit. I'm 22.
And you're huge.
Fly across the country, and I'm like, damn. And I get in this, this nice downtown Hilton where they're putting up all the talent or whatever. And they had the big peanut thing there, and it was like $20 for the peanuts. But I had some wrist tape in my bag. So I pried the little tin foil off, and I ate all the peanuts, and then I taped it back down from the inside and put it back in so I wouldn't get the charge. And then I went the next day, ate as much catering as I could, and then I wrestled Kane on pay-per-view, and that was like my first.
So good, dude.
So he got fired because he got released before too. Like a couple
I got fired when I was
times.
26.
Which I was going to ask, because like your story is obviously like different. Like you get the early opportunity, and Corey probably doesn't know, but talk about like you get this opportunity, and then it turns out what they wanted you to do wasn't exactly what you envisioned.
We should
and like talk about like all that.
Yeah, they showed me the picture on the way over.
Okay,
Yeah. You know that's.
He was famous though.
I always laugh back looking at that stuff because when you're a little kid, you see like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, and I'm like, I'll probably have long blonde hair, I'll be jacked, tan, I'll have a cool ring coat, and then I got there and they're like, "No, dude, you're the slow guy."
For all the listeners, can you break down like what what
the
they wanted
character,
you to
if
do?
you've ever read Mice and Men, he was. I'm trying to put this as politically correctly as you can.
He was
a slow guy.
mentally
Festus
challenged.
was a mentally challenged character, and so I had to. I couldn't grow hair already, so they had me grow this like skullet hair in. I was out of shape, and that was my character on television. But like.
You're like, I saw this in my head a little different.
Everybody's always like now and in the years after, like, are you really embarrassed about it? Are you this or that? I'm like, no, man. Like, they made 8 action figures of me during that little 2-year run. I bought my first house.
Yeah.
I bought we bought our first nice car. Like, we actually had shit now. And it was because, I dressed up like the slow guy with the skullet on TV. But hey, it worked out and it evolved into, then at 26, I got let go after I'd had another character change. And I was like, well, instead of taking this as a negative, now I can do all this stuff I thought I'd get to do before that. Like I wanted to go to Mexico and wrestle really bad. I wanted to go to Japan. That was always a goal. And I'd not done that stuff. Nothing outside of WWE that wrestlers do that you can go around the world and do still to this day. So it was pretty cool. And it was like a new challenge. And then that led me through TNA and then to linking up with this guy. And then that's when it like took off. And the rest is history.
How did you guys like come together? Like when did the Good Brothers like start?
Yeah. Well, this is funny too because he thought he was about to get a huge singles run.
I was in the middle of a real.
Then he got stuck with me.
So it's 2012. I was teaming up with a guy named A-Train or Prince Albert was his name, or Tensai when he came back. And he ended up signing back with WWE, and he went to WWE, so I was left on my own. And I started getting this massive single rise. I mean, I'm just going nuts. Fans are behind me. Everywhere I go, they're chanting Anderson. Every single city, Hiroshima, Nagoya.
That's so cool.
Kyoto, Tokyo, Fukuoka, Sapporo. I mean, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
One of the bosses sits down and goes, "Hey, you know this guy?" Shows me a picture of him. I go, "Yeah, he's a good guy." He goes, "Oh, yeah. What you think?" I said, "I think he's good. Bring him." He goes, "Oh, yeah, okay." The next week he sits down and he goes, "Remember the big guy I told you about?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I think maybe we put you guys tag team." I go, No.
Hold on a second.
What the fuck? Like,
That's funny.
I was in TNA.
That wasn't part of the plan.
And I was fishing because I knew my deal was coming up there and business wasn't great there at the time. But I was like, hey, is there a chance? Is there a chance? So this guy like did me the favor, basically. The boss saw it. Okay. And then he's like, oh, they both are bald-headed guys with beards. Cool. And he was like, no,
come on. Don't put me with him. Then they put us together.
Here we are a decade later.
In our very first tour, which was like the December of 2013, they had us win this New Japan Pro Wrestling Tag League. And so we got this awesome big push. And then we went to the Tokyo Dome, which is like a 60,000 seat arena, right? And we won the IWGP Tag Team Championships together. And our first night out, after we teamed together the very first night in Tokyo, Japan, we went out, and I was like, I had a guy taking us out in Japan. They have
He called my room and he goes, hey man,
Yeah.
do you like to eat Mexican food? And I go, yeah, sure. He goes, do you like to drink beer? And I go, yeah, sure. And he's like, all right, come downstairs in 20 minutes. And then we went out, and I was like, this is awesome.
And then we just drank beer all night. I was like, oh, this guy's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's funny.
We'll give it a try.
Yeah, that was it. And then like literally every single tour, I do have a pretty good funny story. I was under a guaranteed contract, so I would get a monthly pay from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well, he was on a weekly check, so he was getting paid weekly. When he come over for 3 weeks, get paid whatever. Every week he'd get paid for the amount of time he was there. Yeah.
I was always trying to talk to the guys, though, going like, can I get a little more next year?
Our second year in, we have a big pay-per-view match. And I've been thinking all tour, like, he's here every month because of me. He's here for 3 weeks. He's making this month. Oh, my God. So then we get to the ring. We're in the ring. It's 10,000.
The two other guys are coming down the aisle. Their music's playing, like the height of your adrenaline to get ready to do this.
It's a 10,000 seat arena. I look up at him because he's taller than me. And I said, hey, Tanahashi and Makabe are walking in the ring. I said, hey, how much money do you make a week? And he goes, huh? I said, how much do you make a week? And he goes,
I was keeping my little private combos from him.
And he says the number, and I go, you make more money than me. What the fuck?
So you got to focus. It's a big match.
Yeah, he goes, huh? Well, we need to prepare for this.
That's
well, right away, I knew I had a good brother that was, he had my back, and I had his back, and we connected right away, dude. And then, cool. Then we ended up, AJ Styles comes over and links up with us. We become best friends with him, and we real legit brothers.
Rise of the Bullet Club.
Then all of a sudden, WWE starts calling us, and then we all go together, and here we are.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Here we are.
Danny.
I'm just thinking, at the very beginning, what, from somebody who's not traditionally a wrestling fan, what does a day in the life look like at the beginning like this compared to now? Because obviously that's probably completely different.
You mean when I first
when
got
you went
going?
to Japan?
Oh yeah. Well, see, going to Japan was the big time. So I was excited to go. I had food paid for. I had money. I had a contract.
Mm-hmm. You're like a rock star, bro.
Yeah, to me, it felt like, especially then, it was rock stardom.
Explain the dojo-ness of it to these guys, though, because they have their own. There's just fitness camp here.
There's so many different levels to it. I mean, as an independent wrestler, I was working with mentally challenged individuals at a place called We Care Homes in Ohio.
That's where you actually first met me.
Yeah, that's where I first met Festus, of course. And, but I would work there during the day, and then I'd go wrestle training during the night, and then I'd go wrestle once or twice during the weekend for $10 or $15, right? Then Japan is you go on 3-week tours where you go to Osaka, you go to Nagoya, and you have one day off maybe, but you're wrestling 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Then our WWE schedule, we're on the road 4 days a week, and we land on Friday morning, and we work out, wrestle that night, drive 4 hours to the next town, then maybe Raws on Monday, and you get there, and you got to think of how you're eating, how you're training, how you're working out.
For sure.
That's a cool part though too, because I came from the American style where I was used to doing that. I got to Japan, and it was like, okay, if you're in Tokyo, they have this dojo you can go to, or they give you a Gold's Gym card you can use. So when you're in Tokyo, you're good. But you get out on the road, and Japan's an island, so New Japan's business model is live event touring. It's like an old school rock band. That's how they make their money. Sometimes it's 5, 6, 7 nights a week for them. Well, you look at these guys, and they're all in shape. So you're like, how do they do it? Well, then when I got with him, they drive this extra truck around with all the weights and all
that's cool.
All the young boys jump out, and they bring all the fitness stuff in. They load it up, and up until doors, the boys are either around the ring squatting in a group, or then there's a weightlifting group over here.
That's cool.
Everybody's just getting it. It was a real cool camaraderie thing.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
I got a couple of boys
it was
lunging.
badass, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. There'd be a lunge group, and then there's it was awesome.
Okada, you know who Okada is? You watch AEW
Super famous Japanese
he's
wrestler,
a famous Japanese guy. He would start lunging when he'd see me.
So good.
Yeah, it was cool though. There were little camps all around the whole thing, so everybody was getting it, which was neat because they would just had the old weight set in this old box truck, and then the guys would bring it all in, set it up real quick, and then have at it.
What's one of your guys' favorite venues to wrestle at? If you had to pick top 2 or 3.
Man.
Is it the West Bank Arena in Wheeling, West Virginia?
Have you? I started in West Virginia. I don't know, man. For us, it's different now because there are parts of the country that are a little more wrestling smart that kind of appreciate us a little more. So the big markets are good. Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. He's wrestled there 100 times. There's a venue in Japan called Korakuen Hall. It's not a huge venue, maybe 2,500 people, but I had never, before I was in there with him, felt a building physically vibrate from the people and the reaction to it. So we've done WrestleMania in front of 80,000 people, but that feeling when they're behind what you're doing and you can physically feel it reverberate through your body, it's a pretty big fucking high.
It's probably almost like a Cameron Indoor, like a Duke versus when something that has 100,000, like the shoe or something.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's the greatest high ever.
Yeah, that's got to be unbelievable.
Yeah,
all your vices you can chase. You don't get that same.
I wish everybody had the opportunity to feel that when you get the crowd going, especially just for example, it's in Tokyo, and the way they start to react at the end of these matches, and you're building these matches, and the place starts to shake. Oh man, there's nothing better.
I wish everyone could feel whatever, and some can, and some I guess don't get a chance to, whatever that pinnacle moment is, right?
Yeah.
Where it's all the way from getting the $20 to getting your first contract, but then whatever is it at WrestleMania or whatever that pinnacle is that you can feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to me. It was worth it all.
We related
you know what I mean?
We related to kind of like, I related to talking to you in the car though, because we all have these huge aspirations. And then once you hit that milestone and you do it and you have that euphoria and then you come down that night and then the next day you're like,
yeah,
well, we have to do more.
Yeah.
How the fuck do we figure out how to do more? How do we get higher than this?
Yeah.
There's a couple different times though when I wasn't sure I was ever going to go to WWE, and he wasn't sure he was ever going to go back to WWE.
I swear I wasn't. I went back to.
Then we signed our first deal to go in 2016, and they had his debut at the Staples Center.
Yeah.
In LA. And we were like about to run in and beat up the Usos.
We still weren't sure. We knew we had a massive Japanese following. We were like, does that translate here? Like, I haven't been on TV here in years. He hasn't been on TV here at all yet.
Ever.
We know they like this Bullet Club stuff, but will it resonate when we run out there?
I never wrestled in America besides stupid independent shows, right?
Yeah.
Now he's in the Staples Center.
I'm about to run out in the Staples Center, and like we were like high-fiving, like this is. I could feel it.
That's so cool.
Hope they remember.
Yeah. But then when we left for the 2 years and we just re-debuted it in Brooklyn, New York, which I tell anybody to look it up. Look up Good Brothers Come Back.
Yeah.
All right.
Please, Gallows and Anderson.
Was it from last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Yep.
Hold on. We
will
got to
say-
take a quick camera break so it doesn't overheat. We'll be right back. We're back. All right. Good. Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. Look up Gallows and Anderson Return. I'll say this. I get chills thinking about it. And if you watch it and don't get chills from the reaction from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, then you're not human. Because the place
I feel unbelievable.
I'm pretty good friends with the sports talk guy named Jim Rome.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And I messaged him the video, right? Yeah, just a little brother drop, right?
Yeah.
But he messaged me and goes,
Good brother. Rome's a good brother.
he messaged me and said, I'm going to give it
good
to you. I don't like. He knows he doesn't like wrestling.
Okay.
Right. He did for us.
He likes
Yeah.
us, but
Yeah.
We went on a show and did it, and he followed it because of us.
That's cool.
He said, I'll give it to you. That was badass.
Hell yeah.
That was another.
That's right, Jim.
Yeah.
maybe all this shit that we did like last year at Barclays Center was like, all right, man.
Yeah, that's
It
cool.
was all worth it.
That's so cool.
You know.
From like a preparation standpoint, like going into a match or whatever, like what does that look like for you? Like how long ahead of time are you preparing that day?
Well, you know, our schedule is kind of never ending. So when you get in a run, when you're getting a run and you're on TV and you're in a story and you're doing a lot, there's not a lot of time to be like, we need to prepare for Raw next week, because a lot of times you get home, say you're on Raw, for example, you get home on Tuesday, you know, we got wives and kids, and then so that day's a wash. Then you have Wednesday, Thursday to get your shit together, get your family right. You're leaving Friday a lot of times. Then you'll wrestle like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then you would have to go do Raw TV month. So it's just like be in the best shape that I can be in, be as prepared as I can be. And like there's no time to slow down and relax and prepare for this, because like the grind is here. And if you don't get it now, somebody else is going to come get it. So it's just, it's never ending. It's like any business, you know?
Sure.
So this is kind of a technical question that I just want to know. Is a lot of the stuff you do like off the cuff, like not talking like promos and stuff like that, but like in a match, like let's say like obviously you guys are vets. Do they basically tell you, hey, we're just looking for you guys to hit like maybe 1 or 2 spots, and the rest of it is just you guys being dudes out there?
Well, there's 2 different ways with
That's
that.
a broad question.
Because this would be hard for somebody who's not in our business, but I'll try to explain it briefly and please help me. But if you just put in a show here at the gym and we're not filming it for television, we can go out and entertain the people for 20 minutes, and we know how to take them on a fun ride.
Yeah.
We know our greatest hits. We know if there's some other
Our
famous
greatest
group in
hits.
here.
Yeah.
We know what they want to see. We do it. But then, okay, now you're on television, and every minute costs this much money and is worth this much money. So, okay, you got 4 minutes in this segment, 4 minutes when you come back, you have to get this, and this. It's a lot tighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got a referee to use as a tool, and you have time cues. But like, if you're not precise, you can screw up pretty badly.
You can get in trouble too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to hit these times now, right?
Yeah, so if I go over for 2
it's-
minutes and it takes away from Roman Reigns, who's in the main event, and that's
they're gonna be
a
pissed.
marquee big, you know, that's big shit. That's a
All
big
right,
issue.
I got another hard hitting question, right? This one I'm very curious about, right? So we take pride here at Max for Muscle. We believe that we deliver the best one take promos of all time.
I would
so
agree.
coming,
We are one take homies.
Yes. So coming from you guys, what I guess first, one, are your promos off the cuff, and 2, what makes a great promo?
So with us, we do way better off the cuff. We know that. We've been scripted. We've been unscripted. The way we got to be who we are was being off the cuff. So a lot of times we get an outline, but you still have time constraints. But I mean, a good wrestling promo, it's like anything else. You can't, if I just look at Corey and go like, well, you're a little piece of crap and I'm going to stomp you, then he beats me. I look like a big steaming piece of shit.
Yeah.
If I still beat him after I said that, I didn't beat anybody. So the art of a good promo is to build up your opponent and make him look like this inconquerable force.
Wow.
Then if I lose, I fought one hell of a battle, and if I win, my God, I slayed a dragon. That's how I look at it.
Because you put him over, right? You say,
I like that though, because
exactly
we could use that advice. Good.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like, Corey, you might have 10 abs and all that. You might be a big badass, but do you know who I am?
Yeah, you built me up, and now you're coming
build
at
him
me.
up.
I like
Put him
that.
over as a
I'm not
fitness
scared of you.
kingpin,
You might be a
all
bad
this.
dude, brother, but you better pack a lunch.
How long? I guess how long did it take for you guys to develop? Like, you know what? Put us on the mic. Like, we're good to go. Was it tough for you guys at first, or?
We're better. I don't know. We like to hear ourselves talk.
I respect it, LG.
No, Cole, we're great.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what's
I've
funny?
been cutting promos in the mirror since I was a kid.
I was gonna say
that's
that's
putting on capes made out of
reps,
our dad's
man.
flannel shirts and pretending. I mean, so it was just kind of in us, I guess.
Well, what I forced these guys to do when they first started working with me is to do content. To say basically that's our version of the promos, right? Because like I had been doing it forever, and I was like, in my mind, I thought everybody in this office needs to be able to cut a promo.
Yeah.
Now he comes from the wrestling background, but you know Danny was a little bit more awkward, which is
A little bit.
yeah,
Yeah, but if somebody walks
more
up and goes,
subdued.
"What is max effort?" It's on your shirt. They need to have an answer.
yeah.
correct?
Just we're just that you know all of a sudden just the camera's in your face and you can just rock with it, you know. And then now it's like it was like became the graphic gangster. Small Arms Danny. They essentially got like their own kind of, you know what I mean? It like started to have characters,
all
and we
have their own
started.
gimmick. I love it.
I've essentially created my own WWE universe in my head.
Yeah.
I went through Mr. Energy,
Mr.
which was
Energy.
me in tank tops, just literally yelling all the time, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Had a long ass beard. Then Donnie Traps. Donnie Traps was my
good.
peak character. Now I'm literally just it's the graphic.
All right. Well, then I have a little challenge for you. I got my camera. I got this right here. When I had a wrestling school, we used to do this.
Donnie Traps had an accent.
So
too,
you
didn't
got
he?
you did.
you got 60 seconds, Donnie Traps.
60 seconds.
You're facing Corey G in a steel cage match
I fucking love
in
this.
coal miner country next Saturday at 7 p.m. Sell me on it. Ready, go.
Now, listen, you know, everyone, you know, they talk all the time. Corey's got these abs. Corey bought an island. Corey got this. But you know what? You know what Corey's never done? He's never faced me, right? He's never got some cold dog here, you know, leader of the
45
Arms
to
Army.
go.
He doesn't really know what's happening, right? So, you know, tomorrow at Flex Friday, what's going to go down is I'm going to take Corey and I'm going to do all the curls, right? I'm going to look him stare in the eyes and I'm going to curl my face off. And at the end of that, you know, he's going to come out
30
knowing
seconds.
that I absolutely dominated him in the curls off, right? It doesn't matter if it's barbell curls, dumbbell curls, on the curl machine, whatever he wants to do, he knows that I'm going to bring my best and I'm going to dominate him.
You got 15 seconds.
And that's what's going to happen tomorrow at Flex Friday.
Good, man. That was awesome.
Really good.
That's what they used to teach us, though, was like if you have a minute, you don't use the full minute, well, then you just wasted that commercial for yourself.
Yeah.
You gave away time that I paid for. So then
Fucking
you're like,
love that.
You know what I mean?
Well, and what we would talk about all the time is that right there can just happen, and that he can just be himself and do it. And then as that, and then even like our interns, we would like force them to jump in like skits, and like it just became part of the culture of like. Then when like even some of the homies that are like weightlifting guys that are here, they know
wanna
at
be
any
in on it, right?
Well, that and they know at any point in time it could just happen. I could just walk in with Kyle, and then it's like, hey, we're pushing a hoodie deal today. You know what I mean? And so I think that was like became kind of like the culture. People think that's what we're doing all day long. It's like 10 minutes of the day or 1 minute.
It's just like that. It's 30 seconds.
But think
Yeah,
about
yeah.
even like whenever you started dating Michaela, the in-laws basically or whatever started looking at like, wait, they've seen like the content and then they meet you and it's like, you know,
Donnie Traps?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it adds like a whole nother dynamic to our work. I think.
love it.
So it's pretty cool.
So they would give you random prompts.
Yeah, like when you're first starting out and you're young, that's how they try to teach you. They would be like, you know, all right, Gallows, you got to cut a promo on why blue tube socks are the best socks in the game. Go. And
That's
then
cool.
You can't just be like, so that's what taught us to like, you know, kind of do it off the cuff. I had a little
They had the
wrestling school
scripts
for a
now
while.
though. Like WWE's pretty scripted.
WWE's pretty scripted now, but when we were learning, and that's why it's different to the live audience and the television audience too. But that's like the old school way.
Do they mostly give you just like bullet points, like hit on this and then you're good to go? Because that's usually what we do.
With us, they'll hand us something sometimes, and we'll go, listen, if we can get the message across, but say it our way, and they'll let us do that first, and usually that's good enough. Yeah, because. It's hard to manufacture somebody else's thoughts and words through your own mouth and vocal cords. I guess it's just not natural. So
would you guys be willing to cut a promo for us right now?
Of course. What do you want to cut a promo?
Okay, 60 seconds.
Favorite product?
So 60 seconds. Max Effort Muscle Products Black Friday deal. We're running a crazy deal compared to, let's say, our opponents, like the bad company, the bad guys. The bad guys Black Friday deal.
We're doing a buy an XL, get a free stack, which is pretty big. So you're getting a whole stack for free off. So if you buy an XL, get a free stack, right, Tyler, is what we're running. So I mean, that's like $100+ value for free.
You said Black Friday deal?
Black Friday deal, which we're gonna start promoting as of next week.
You buy an XL and you get what free? A stack?
Stack, yeah. So buy 5, get 3 free. We might even throw in some potentially like wrist wraps or some shit like that too. But there could
hit the time, Cole.
All right, here, hold on. All right, here we go.
Max Effort Muscle. Do you realize who's sitting right here? You got Carl the Machine Gun Anderson, the big LG, the best big man in this business.
Preach, my brother.
The Good Brothers. It is Black Friday. Gallows, famous Good Brothers. It is Black Friday, and do we have a deal for you? The bad company is going to be blown out of the water. You know why? Because this is the Max Effort universe, and we have got the deal for you.
Talk to him.
If you buy an XL, you get a free stack! Now we're talking! Now we're talking! Corey G, he's got 15 abs. They're stacked up this high, and you can have that too, because for the XL, you get the free stack, and you only get it on Black Friday. We're going to start that this Thursday night. It runs all the way through Sunday. We're the Good Brothers. This is Max Effort Muscle. It's Black Friday. Be there.
That was
It's 10 seconds short. We saved that.
Awesome. Fuck yeah.
That was fucking epic.
That's so good. That was good.
Awesome.
Damn.
That was I feel like
it's like a master class.
This is
it really is a master
class.
This is
it is a master
absolutely
class.
unreal.
I've probably watched, which everyone has, but I've probably watched the Ric Flair one
for sure.
And I'm sure you guys have watched it a bazillion times too. Like that's why obviously he's still so fucking great.
Yes.
It's like the alligator, the most popular one. It's like he when he's going through that, I can't only watch it one time because I just want to be like, how can I embody even a piece of that for 1 second?
Yeah, he was my favorite growing up.
So good.
He talked people into the arena.
I'm sure.
Like that just I have to see that.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Well, one thing I picked up on a long time ago was from Kelly Starrett, which was a big PT guy, actually like in the CrossFit and movement space. He did for a year straight. He did a YouTube video in his garage, and his garage was a fucking train wreck. Half the time there'd be people in there. There'd like his kids would walk through. But what he did a great job of it was so authentic. He'd be teaching you about like rolling out your psoas or doing something with your leg, and he'd be like, "Oh, that guy right there, pain face. Oh, hey, my daughter just walked through. Oh, it's cool. Oh, I should probably put that bike away." But he was still teaching, and I was like, "That's me. That's what I need." So it's like we'll be cutting promos, and Cole will be in the corner. I'll be like, "Cole, what do you think about that, real quick?" And they'll say, or if Dustin would have walked in, I would have called it. You know what I mean? And so I think people start to get on to like, "Oh, wait, this is like literally they're just there doing that too."
Yeah,
and so
you're living it, man.
You're living it. Yeah. So I picked up on that early, and that's what I thought was, instead of me trying to be someone else, which I do like trying to do that too, which is what part of the promo are, but the reality is like with our content, I just kind of took on that. And then to me, it is that easy.
Yeah.
Because it's just what's happening.
Right.
And so that's kind of the vibe but I got that from Kelly Starrett because I was so intrigued. I'm like, he didn't try to clean his garage. I still learned something from this video. Yeah. And he called out all the shit that you're seeing and made fun of it, but it was part of the content. It was really cool. So,
Gallows was so intrigued. I'm sorry, huge sidetrack. We talked about this off the air. How you're not tired at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I get tired, but thank you.
You're just so vibrant and youthful. Yeah. I mean, if there's no other reason to buy Max Effort products, to join the team, to join the group, look at this guy. He looks like he's 24.
I honestly,
not even a sales job, just truth. Gallows goes, so is Corey picking us up? I go, yeah. He goes, is he going to fall asleep at the wheel?
He's going to fall asleep at the wheel. He's been up since 3 a.m.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I think that's why I was excited for you guys to come here, because like, as we've been here for a few years now, and it's starting to like really, kind of get what I could see in my head when I first walked in. Like, this is like the passion that we have for just the industry, the company, and the group of guys that are here helping us build it. Because look, these two guys are owners. Tyler's an owner. It's like everyone's got a piece of the action. Dustin, you had all the kids out there. It's like, it's one of those things where this is like, I might have built a company that was looked upon to be pretty big the first time, but it wasn't as authentic as this. Like, it was cool, but it wasn't all the way what I thought I was going to build. It just became something different. Yep. So when I left, I was like, next time I want to build what I was trying to build the first time. And that's what you guys just walked into. Yeah. Like, I used to have this big 30,000 square foot gym. It fucking sucked. You walk in, that's the fucking dream gym. Yeah. So if that isn't there and that isn't authentic, there isn't none of this. Yeah. And so that's why I think it's so important that I'm glad it isn't the office first and the gym second. Right. The gym is the backdrop of why any of this exists. Just back to the initial part of the workout. So it's like, I think it's, when you hear me talk about it, it's so ingrained and so like authentic, and it's just me, man. I can't, like, if somebody came and bought all this tomorrow, I would still get up the next day and do arms. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, that's what I was talking about. The way that it's like integrated now, it's like, it's such a lifestyle of, and it's a long-term thing. I just really like it. So that's why I was glad when you guys were, able to come into the company and help. And I think now that we got you here and you guys know what everything is, feels like, looks like, and we can really, build from here. That's why I was excited to come get you guys. So yeah, I normally would be a little tired by now.
It goes from the dynamic of like, this is a really cool, intriguing guy, and you want to be around, you want to go hang out with him, see him, to okay, it's a business partnership or whatever. But then you walk in here the first time and it feels like a team, and you want to be on the team. Yeah. Because all the cool kids are on the team, so it's just kind of the way it is, man.
Well, and with having like a private facility and a smaller team that, especially with the app too, because a lot of these guys help with the app or projects too. It's like, it just is, I feel blessed that there's a lot of guys that ain't made it. Like I wore them out, or they fucking got butt hurt or whatever. They couldn't fucking survive. These guys have now for a long period of time. And so now what I'm excited about is what we're building from here, as they're getting married, they're having their first kids, they're building their lives, because they're all younger than me. You know what I mean? I could be almost some of their dads, really. And so it's like at the point now where now I'm excited about that next level for our team, right? Cool. Which now we get a chance to build
together. Generational now, man.
It is. It's cool. And like, I take pride in like, as they get the business skills and they're contributing. And dude, at the end of the day, I always say, like, I don't want to be the only dude that can buy dinner. I don't want to be the only dude with the idea. And these guys are what keep me young too. Yeah, reality. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So if I'm not getting up for me, I'm getting up. Like, I have a picture on my on my kitchen. It's from a team shot we took like at the Arnold thing. And it had everybody that could be here, that some of the investors, all these guys, all their significant others. I'm going to work for that. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. So it's cool. Yeah. So having you guys here and feeling that, I think is important. It's very cool. To be able to help build it. Yeah.
It's good for us to come here too, so we're not just, landing in Columbus and being degenerates.
Well, that's true. And the best way to lead is always through example, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's
I appreciate
big
that.
put over for you.
I want to get these two guys in and ask some questions too. You guys want to come over and
come
swap
on
out?
Here, I got a mic.
Yeah. We good on time, Kyle? Yeah. All right, then we can ship it out.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, beard on beard crime
beard
right there.
Bye.
All right, Tyler and Tyler. So I think you guys know, but I'll reintroduce. So Tyler Sealiver does all the operations for Max Effort. So we do all the forecasting for supplements and anything that has to do with numbers. Tyler Treadway is handling all the relationships with the sports, like athletes, strength coaches, social media. So he's kind of like a jack of all trades. So Tyler and Tyler.
TNT Express, the legendary team here as well. So absolutely. It takes one to know, right?
Go ahead,
hair?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, great hair. Go ahead, take it away. Good question for these guys.
This is a lot of good content here. These guys had good questions. Of course, Cole, being a wrestling fanatic like this, was a great lead off. So you guys share a lot of good stuff. So you were kind of talking a little bit about what your day might be like tomorrow. So now that you You kiss the family goodbye for a little bit. You land in Columbus. What's tomorrow going to look like? Or I guess what time does everything start kicking off? Like, you got to be in there when?
I think tomorrow we have like a 1 o'clock call time. So we'll get up in the morning and train and,
Yes.
Man groom a little, maybe a little tanner, maybe a little beard dye, whatever you might need. Not saying that either one of us need
groom,
any
I
of
like
that. But if we do, we'll spruce it up a little bit. And then you roll in there. TV days are long, though, man. Mm-hmm. Like we have some kind of a team meeting tomorrow in the afternoon. But then it's just prep all day for the show that night. And the teardown won't start until like 11 p.m., so it's a pretty full day.
That is a full day.
Yeah.
You know, I look at the road, too, as like a chance for me to sleep in.
Yeah.
Because I got to get up with the kids every day at home. Like by 7 a.m. at least, and if I'm trying, like I do try the 320 thing, and I try it. I've put hard work into it, but at around like 11 a.m. I start turning really weird. it's like almost like a high, not high, like the kind of high that like he likes, where I'm like on weed or something. I can't move. I'm so exhausted, dude. So like I come on the road. I'll sleep until 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then I'll work out.
But that's something from him, too. Like, it's so much easier to get up and have it done before everybody else is doing anything in their work day, before the kids are up, before anything, because then you don't have that, like, I didn't do it the other day. I slept in, and then my wife had me run an errand, and now it's 11, and I know, like, he gets down to practice at 5, and my time's shrinking to get it in, and then she wants me to go and do this. I'm like, why the fuck did you get out of bed? I don't get up at 3:20, but I get up at 5 usually and do it.
5 still counts.
But, like, why did I not do that? Because now my day's fucking ruined.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, to work out tomorrow. Go to the arena. Figure out what we got to do. Sometimes we do backstage interviews. Like a couple weeks ago, we had like the WWE Japan was there. Yeah, and they had just signed a new deal with some TV company in Japan. WWE did, and they were interviewing us because we'd been there a bunch. So.
Yeah, or they'll have you do liners for the individual markets and stuff like that. So it's just a work day. You know, it's a content-based company too, obviously, and then all the performing in the ring comes on top of that. So it's a full day for sure.
You guys are pretty used to that though at this point, though, right? You got a little bit of a vibe and a flow of what you want to do.
For sure.
Yeah, it's almost weird. Like I was out with a knee injury for a little while, and we weren't doing anything story-wise on TV, and it's almost weirder for us to be at home too much because we interrupt.
I've heard you guys say that multiple times.
We interrupt the vibe of home.
Yeah,
they have a system, and then I'm there, and it's like, well, hey, you're messing up the system.
You're just throwing a wrench in it.
Can you?
Yeah.
Well, like, get the hell out of here. Go to Columbus, please.
At like 8:30 p.m., I'm like, hey guys, the boys, I got kids. I go, hey, showers.
5 kids.
I have 5 sons now.
What a pimp, huh?
Treadway's eye just went. Yeah.
Awesome. The full basketball team.
We just had our 5th son with the same wife.
Hell yeah!
Another round of applause.
Hey, all right. Because that shit don't happen anymore.
No, it don't. Hey, respect.
I'm glad that you dropped that at the end. That's amazing.
Hey, it wasn't guaranteed.
It sure is.
Shout out, same wife.
Especially with some of the stuff that
Keep moving,
we
bud.
put ourselves.
Keep the content rolling here. Okay, that's what this is about.
But what were we talking about?
Treadway was going to ask a question different than that one, probably. Yeah.
What was I saying though?
Some of the daily routine.
Yeah, throwing a wrench on the daily routine. Yeah, it's all right.
No, we're talking about being home too much and how we make it weird for everybody else.
Oh yeah. 8:30 p.m. comes around. I'm like, hey boys, let's shower up. Time for bed. And they're all like, what are you? Huh?
No, man.
We shower at like 9:30, 9:45. I'm like, oh well. I'm trying to wind
that's
this
too
down.
late.
Yeah.
Not today.
You guys are wrestling over here. You're playing like balloon baseball over here. Like, enough, because there's no basements in Florida. That was a real wake up call for me, dude. So there's nowhere to go in my house. I got a big house, and there's nowhere to go.
Amazing.
The road's a nice chance to kind of breathe, baby.
For sure.
It's good.
So what's the training like for you guys? Because you guys are professional athletes, so you have to like take care of your body. You guys are getting beat up, all this stuff. So is it more like strength focused, or like, I mean, you guys have to treat yourself like professional athletes with all the recovery stuff. So what is that like?
It's a constant battle of figuring out the next thing that because like if you're working around an injury and you don't necessarily want to say anything about it or this or that, it's trying to recover, look your best, and be able to perform at the best. So it's a constant battle. That's why you see wrestlers all the time, and some of the guys that are in the best shape of anybody in the whole world, and they're always trying to change it up to find like what's going to adapt. Well, I tweaked my knee last week. Well, how do I get to here? How do I get abs, or how do I not look like shit in my tights, or you know what I mean? It's always just it's a weird balance, I think, when you're doing this, because it's cosmetic, but you're also a professional athlete. So, you can't look like crap, but you also have to be able to perform at a certain level too.
And not get, and if you're running too lean, that's gonna, put you more towards injury. So there's like that balance.
And that's happened
tricky
with guys before too, where they were getting hurt a lot because they were so lean.
Yeah.
Because it's very physical too.
No,
that's never happened to me, so
Yeah.
I'm good on that. Don't worry about me there.
Nowadays, dude, I just try to sweat, man. I just try to get it out, sweat the hate out, get moving. Like my son, my 13-year-old was like, Dad, can you do 225 bench? I go, of course I can. Now I haven't done it in so long, right? So I'm like, he goes, well, you want to do it? And I was like, of course.
Yeah.
So we walk into my gym, and I was like, oh shit.
I got to do it now.
So I started doing. Then I'm like, here we go, baby. And I pumped it out 5 times, right?
There you
I
go.
haven't done that in.
Yeah,
I haven't done
but
that.
we don't lift like that anymore.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I
I've
mean?
done that in 5
Because-
years. I was like, yeah. He's like, how'd that feel? I was like, it was good, son.
And that's something else too. Like every time you start wanting to, to lift
was
heavy
hard.
again, and you're like, well, I can't because of the shoulder or this.
Yeah.
So it's just.
I just try to keep it tight, keep myself just keep myself sweating, dumbbell shred.
A lot of your
lunging.
stuff's helped me because if my heart rate's up, I know that I'm moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what I'm training, if I'm squatting in between sets or something I need to really be doing, if I can feel my heart rate and I'm sweating the whole time, and then hit the infrared sauna, jump in a cold
There you go.
plunge, all that,
Oh, yeah.
I'm a lunge believer too.
So
You did a lot of lunges during the
I'm
pandemic.
back on the train now.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
he's back.
my guy.
30 minutes.
he's
30
back.
minutes.
Yeah.
30-minute walking lunges.
Well,
man.
and you can do that no matter where you guys are at.
That's why I do.
You know.
So when I took off, probably like 3 months ago, I took off for 3 months, and I told him, I said, we had like a week off. I said, I got to do it now.
You get it
I'm
out
not
of the
gonna be
way.
able to
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah.
Because for 5 days I couldn't
Yeah.
walk. But
Yeah.
by the time we went to SmackDown, I was able to walk.
Every time I take a break and come back to him, I
It's hell.
I can't believe I'm like embarrassed how sore I am. I'm like peeling myself out of the truck. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I created this like application. I can't even fucking walk.
No, yeah,
It's unbelievable.
Like my 5-year-old jumped on me and I screamed. Like,
Yeah.
That's another Corey G thing too that we learned with the road, because some places we would go in Europe or whatever, and there wasn't even a gym like at all. But
Yeah.
you can throw an ab wheel and some small
Yeah.
dumbbells in your
Some
check
bands,
bag.
yeah.
And you can, whether it sucks or not, you can squat and lunge. So like you
It's
don't
true.
really have an excuse to be like, well, there's nothing to work out with here. you
Yeah,
know?
no, that's true.
Hey, we've had him sitting drinking White Claws, watching me do pocket lunges. Because I was like,
That was
fucking
after
love
I-
that.
That was after he watched me pump for 2 hours. Guys.
Yeah, you were already
in my underwear.
yeah.
It was in Columbia, South Carolina. He was like, "Yo, you ready to go to the Mexican spot?" I go, I got to lunge.
Gotta get my
I
lunge.
have to
I had the
lunge.
streak in.
So
He's
all
like,
right.
I bet I'm coming over.
I'll come watch you,
So
man.
you come over. I'm just lunging. We're just
Just
talking.
drinking.
I'm in my undies.
So good.
My undies and my knee pads.
That's so good. Another quick break and we'll be right back. And we're back. All right, back over to you, Tyler.
Yeah. So what's the night before look like? We're talking about this preparation. Do you guys have anything special? Are you superstitious? You know,
If
some
we had a
people-
big match tomorrow, which we don't because we're not really fully back yet, our preparation will be different. Now
Yeah.
we're looking to have dinner and have a pretty good time. But
Get
like when
some.
we know that we have a big 2-seg match, like, hey, let's try to go to bed early. Let's get our shit right, and let's be hydrated and be prepared to, perform your best and prevent injury. But then there's some nights when you don't have much to do.
We've done it for
Can
so
get a little away from us, if you know what I mean.
We've done it for so long. We've done it for so long that we've wrestled some.
We wrestled some big matches where we stayed out too late.
Probably
so
didn't
we-
feel so hot.
We don't do that anymore,
but still had a great matches.
There
too.
were times where there's some matches that I think that when we're finally done, one of our favorite things to do will not be like, hey, like, son, look at me in this match. It'll be like, remember that time we were that hungover and we had to wrestle John Cena? And we did great.
and we did really good.
That's so cool.
We'll talk about that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that podcast in
That
15
hasn't
years.
happened often.
That sounds good.
So I don't know much about pro wrestling, but I listened to the Hulk Hogan on Joe Rogan a little while ago, and I got like super interested. And I was talking to Cole, and he was like feeding me all this stuff to watch, and I was just diving into it, watched a lot of your guys' stuff. How obviously it's scripted, but how much of it is, and has there ever been like a time where shit's just like went off the rails, and you're like, oh shit, like what do we got to do?
Yeah, it goes off the rails sometimes because if that's a problem if it's really, really overly scripted, especially in like a television environment, and you have a newer guy, and sometimes they go blank.
Oh, yeah, I never thought
So
about
now
that.
Now it's on the veteran guy to like
Carry it.
We gotta hold your hand now, and that kind of was a role we did a little bit of the last time we came in because there were some newer teams and stuff. But we were just really used to working on television, and when you get comfortable in that environment, it's just a different animal. So I think that there are some really good veterans in wrestling that help pull the young guys along, and then the young guys become better than the veterans, and the evolution of how the business continues, which is a cool thing.
Who was your favorite growing up?
His favorite was Ric Flair. My first favorite out of the gate was Jake the Snake.
Oh, I love Jake the Snake.
I love Jake the Snake. That's how I turned wrestling on. It came on after cartoons one morning, and I'm like, what is this? And he grabbed the dude and gave him a DDT, and then he pulled out like an 18-foot python and put it on top of him. And I was like, I have to do that.
Yeah.
My dad's like, you're not doing that shit. It's fake. I'm like, no, I have to do it. And here we are.
Yeah. Speaking of Wheeling, West Virginia, I saw Jake the Snake wrestle Andre the Giant when I was like probably like 8 years old.
Wow, that's a cool one, man.
And Ricky the Dragon was my favorite guy.
Yeah.
It was Coco Beware.
You got a Ricky the Dragon.
Ricky the Dragon.
The worker's worker.
I saw Andre the Giant in person. Like I said, I was probably 10 years old or under. My parents took me, and I was like, I was in, man. I had all the figurines and everything, but that I just remember. I'll just never forget Coco Beware with the parrot or whatever, and Ricky the Dragon was shredded up because he had like a Bruce Lee vibe to him, and so I followed it heavy when I was younger. That's cool. Seeing Andre the Giant in person was pretty wild.
I was gonna say, like, not a lot of people. I mean, that's pretty cool memory.
Yeah,
my dad saw him at like his high school when he was a kid, and they still talk about it in the town. Like, remember the year Andre the Giant came to town?
He was unbelievably huge. I mean, and especially when you're a little kid, it's even more amplified. It was wild.
Yeah, when you see it live as a little kid, it's like larger than life with the lights and the guys up there and that shit. It looks,
but also, I think that whole vibe contributed to me wanting to have muscles. I'm sure too. Not so it's all. I mean, I think my first actual like guy I looked up to might have been like Popeye because he was like he had big muscles, and I was a little kid, and then you go wrestling, and then when you start to understand bodybuilding and pro athletes. But it was like I think that definitely seeing Ricky the Dragon, I just remember thinking like, yo, I want to look like that dude.
Why does he look like that? I've told this story on our podcast several times, and it's such a dumb story, but it just shows the innocence. Like, my dad didn't work out. He was like a business guy. So I had never really seen guys with big muscles before. So he'd take his shirt off, and he had like hairy chest, hairy stomach, hairy back. And I would watch wrestling, and all these guys were like tan. There was no hair on them, but they were the muscular ones. Yeah. So I went to him, and I was like, Dad, is the reason that you're so hairy because you don't have any muscles? Because I thought body hair couldn't grow through muscles. Because my dad didn't have it.
That's a valid.
But all the jacked up wrestlers, they didn't. I was like, once your muscles get so big, you don't have to worry about being all hairy and shit. So that's what I got to do.
That is so
I'll
good.
never have to shave it off.
But that's what you think like when you're a kid.
And when you're 8 or 9, I'm just like, well, that's got to be what it is. British Bulldog has no hair on him. Look how jacked he is.
That's so funny. Yes.
He didn't like the question, but
you're like, Dad, if you just lift weights, all that hair will fall
Dad,
off.
if you get on that bench press down there, we don't have to worry about any of this.
So good.
My oldest son was asking me if he started moving his pecs.
Yeah.
He was like, Dad, can you do that? And I was like, can I do that? Yeah. So I started obviously popping them. And I go, then it took me back. It made me remember when I was around 8 or 9, like Lex Luger's came on the screen, dude.
Yeah, and
he started doing that, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Come on.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, I remember Lex Luger doing that. And I
was just trying my hardest.
That's a big deal for the kids when they can do it. When Cade first came in and he could pop his pecs, he's like, look, Dad, I can do it now too. And I'm like,
welcome to the
trust
club.
me, you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I know. I would do it like on accident when I'd just be eating like in high school. Like in my mom be like, quit that. Put a shirt on. I'm like, I've got actual pecs, Mom. Come on.
I need to do this.
Yes. It's just what happens now.
Go boys, look, I got a heart murmur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it like your heartbeat, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we can do it, son.
So good. Well, now let's switch for a second. You're talking to the Good Brother family. They're sitting on the sidelines. They're thinking about, look, I'm not going to look like LG, but I need to get in shape. Or I don't know if I'll ever have abs like it, but it's like, but they just need to get started. So what is like some advice to some of the Good Brothers out there that are watching? They're trying to figure out, what is this max effort? What are these guys doing? Like, where do they start? And just like, give them some vote of confidence.
Isn't the first step, I mean, you're the fitness expert that we look up to too, but isn't the first step to just start and not be intimidated by the process? Yeah. The process doesn't have to come out of the gate and be a 3-hour-long workout and a 24-hour
Literally, it
fast.
could be walking every day.
It could be walking 3 days a week.
Yes.
I have a friend like that at home who's a good friend of mine, and he's out of shape, and he's divorced, and everything's meh. And I was like, please get up every day.
Move.
And walk a mile before you start your real estate stuff. And I promise you're going to start feeling better. He's doing it like 3 days a week. He's skipping breakfast, but like, that's all you got to do to start.
Small wins. Cole talks about it all the time. Like, stack some small wins together.
Nobody's expecting you to come in here and do back for 2 hours with Corey G.
No.
Started, baby.
That's exactly that. Fast until like noon.
Yeah.
Just sometimes people think you wake up and you got to eat
stuff
something.
I got from
you
you
don't
guys.
have to wake up and eat. Like, you're gonna be fine.
And you
You're
can
not
train
hungry.
yourself that you're
Yeah.
actually not hungry. You're
No,
used
no,
to
you
being
just-
like,
you
well,
just
shit,
think
here we
you
go,
are.
eggs
Yeah.
and bacon. You know?
Well, I think like when you become consistent, even like you said, is you're like, can I walk 3 days a week for the next month?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, well, let me add one extra
Maybe
day.
I
And
can
I think
do
people
4,
do
maybe
come out
5.
too hard and heavy, and then they just can't keep it up. Where it's like, really focus on what small wins do I know I can attain, and then build from there. And then, over time, you start to build that confidence to where it's like you can accomplish more. And then you start to believe like, well, maybe I can lose 20 pounds or do this or, so I think like that's what we want to really try to do is do a good job of getting some people from 0 to 1. Like that's a big, we talk.
And once you first feel that first inkling of a result, just that maybe you don't look different at all, but maybe you feel a little better when you walk up the stairs at your job or something, like it can be that small of a win.
Yeah.
And nobody's grading you, right? We're all on our own personal fitness journey, I would imagine. I don't know if that's the right way to word it.
Yeah, no, it is.
But,
Yeah.
Just try for just 2 weeks. Try to fast until lunch and walk for 20 minutes, 30 minutes every day.
I always tell
game
people
changer.
like if you're, because Arnold just released his new book, and I'm like, I wrote something for their newsletter. I'm like, it was like a 15-minute lifting workout and 15 minutes of walking, and listen to Arnold's new book. Like listen to something that makes you feel good, or something that's enjoyable, that's positive. And it's like, you'd be amazed how much better you could feel.
Yeah.
So we're going to help the Good Brothers get in shape.
Yeah, I want the Good Brother fans to at
going
least
to.
give it a try and see where we get. I
Yeah.
think that'd be awesome.
Really cool.
We got a big audience that we could all use it because I need to do it with you. So
Yeah. Right. All right. Anything else? You guys got anything else?
No,
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Cole. Hand the mic over.
All right, this question is brought to you by the Arms Army. Shout out, General, over there. So, all right, if you guys had to choose one arm exercise to superset with a beer of your choice, like maybe your favorite beer, what would it be?
I'm gonna go with rep progression.
I love it. Fuck
to
yeah.
6, 1 to 6, and I'm gonna smash a natty light after.
Oh yeah.
So you're doing this is one set?
Whatever, anything you want it to be.
Yeah.
Fuck, I think you need to do 21s and try to smash a beer on the handoff.
Nice.
Once you get down to
Yeah,
5, it's
yeah.
going to be impossible. So you
Yeah,
might need to
yeah.
go down to ponies.
That's pretty good.
like
Natty
What do you
light
do?
rep
28s though, right?
Yeah,
28s.
I'd go
28s,
28 method.
That's better.
So
yeah.
I would probably chug a Guinness and then hit a 28 method.
That'd
You know
be
what I
good.
mean? Yeah.
That's pretty pimp.
I'd probably have to chug the brewski after. The
That's
set.
what I don't think I could
No.
chug the brewski and then because otherwise I'm just going to be
You're
foaming
gonna
all
feel
over
thrown up.
the set.
Yeah.
Well, let me think. It's going to be a light beer because we're working out, right? Give me a not a Mick Ultra, but a Michelob Light, old school Michelob Light in the bottle. That way it's
in the
risky.
bottle.
If I'm working out in my bare feet, something could happen. You know, it's a little danger element. I'm in my basement. I'm in my underwear.
All right, well, thanks. That's
That was good. That's a good final question. All
I
right.
don't want 6 natty lights, but just one.
That's so good. All right.
Faster, Daddy.
We appreciate the
Yeah.
Good Brothers being here. This was awesome, like special episode for Max Effort Muscle. All your supplement needs at maxeffortmuscle.com.
Get a stack, baby.